everyone, this is Veronica and today we are going to talk about Global Nutrition Report which have been released recently. So we'll discuss the main features of the report and what it has come up with. So if you want to see my video updates, you can follow me on Instagram, and the PDF of this lecture will be uploaded on Facebook and on my Telegram channel. So guys, right now we're giving flat 50% off on all our pen drive courses and Android courses. This is valid till 12th of December. For additional information, you can visit our website. So what is the relevance of this topic? So for UPSC, obviously, in the mains, it is covering up the portion of governance, issues relating to poverty and hunger, and this topic is also covered. And you would know more about international institutions, agencies and their structure and mandate. And for other exams, it could be asked in your MCQ about Global Nutrition Report and its features and what it has come up with. So there are two questions, usually such kind of questions. This is about Global Hunger Index, but a similar question on Global Nutrition Report could be asked. So you have to give the right answer in the comment box. Consider the following statements about Global Hunger Index. So first statement is, the report is published annually by the World Health Organization. Second statement is, as per the report, child stunting is a major reason behind India's poor rank in GHI. Okay, so you have to give the right answer. I'll tell you in the end of the lecture. Second question is, which of the following are the indicator or indicators used by IFPRI to compute the Global Hunger Index report? So options are undernourishment, child, so this is like 1, 2, 3. So undernourishment, child stunting, child mortality. So you have to choose the correct answer and write in the comment box. So let's start why it is in news. The Global Nutrition Report 2008 is published recently. So this Global Nutrition Report was conceived following the first Nutrition for Growth. We write it like this, Nutrition for Growth. This initiative summit that happened in 2013. Okay, it was a mechanism for tracking. It is in fact a mechanism for tracking the commitments made by around 100 stakeholders spanning governments, aid donors, civil society, the UN and businesses, different businesses, right? Even Nobel laureate Amartya Sen has always maintained that hunger is quite violence, which appears more realistic year by year as India struggles to combat malnutrition. According to the Global Nutrition Report 2018, India is facing a major malnutrition crisis as it holds almost a third of world's burden of stunting. Okay, so now we'll see the key nutrition indicators. So first indicator is stunting. So what is stunting? You should be clear with the facts. Stunting is low height for age. Okay, it is low height for age and it is caused by long-term insufficient nutrient intake and frequent infections. Other term is wasting. This is also a second indicator. It means low weight for height. Okay, and it is a strong predictor of mortality among children under 5. It is usually the result of acute significant food shortage and or disease. Okay, and overweight. So it is the condition of having more body fat. So these are the key nutrition indicators. So now we'll study about the highlights. So globally, around 150.8 million children under 5 years are stunted. This is a huge number. And 50.5 million are wasted. So now you know the meaning of stunted and wasted. So now let's discuss some data about stunting. Of the 3 countries that are home to almost half, around 47.2% of all stunted children, 2 countries are in Asia, India and Pakistan. Okay, of these, with 46.6 million, okay, 46.6 million, that is 31% children who are stunted, India tops the list. So among the stunted children, India tops the list. That is very sad state of affairs. And it is followed by Pakistan and Nigeria. Okay, so now let's come to wasting. More than half of the world's children impacted by wasting. So it's like 26.9 million, they live in South Asia. Okay, like more than half of the world's children impacted by wasting live in South Asia, and India accounted for 25.5 million children who are wasted, followed by Nigeria and Indonesia. Now let's come to overweight. So India also figures among the set of countries that has more than 1 million overweight children. Other nations are China, Indonesia, Egypt, US, Brazil, and even Pakistan. So in 4 countries, more than 1/5 of all children are overweight, and these 4 countries are Ukraine, Albania, Libya, and Montenegro. Okay, so that is not much of our use. So of the ground, 38 million children globally overweight, some 5.4 million are in South Asia and 4.8 million are in East Asia. So now see, prevalence of overweight children is the highest in upper middle income countries and lowest in low income countries. So let's not we won't discuss much of the data here. So the health consequences of being overweight and obese contribute to an estimated 4 million deaths globally. So I'm just discussing the data that is given in this report. So you should know what is the affair, what is going in around the world when it comes to malnutrition, right? So now next point is also malnutrition. Now malnutrition is responsible for more ill health than any other cause. So out of 141 countries analyzed, 88% of countries experience more than one form of malnutrition. So the problem of malnutrition remains severe across all regions, but none of the countries are, of course, to meet all 9 global nutrition targets. Nobody is doing sufficient efforts. Now when we talk about packaged foods, as per this report, 21% of packaged foods in India are rated as being healthy. So only 21% of what foods you are eating as packaged foods are healthy in India. So this is based on overall energy. How they are counting this, calculating this is, so this is based on overall energy, salt, sugar, okay, and saturated fat on the negative side, and vegetable, fruit, protein, fiber, and calcium as positive factors. So for the packaged foods, they are considering some positive factors and some negative factors. Okay, so now we'll see what is the condition of India. So if we talk about the spatial variation, international, so IFPRI that I even mentioned in the objective, that is International Food Policy Research Institute, they have found that stunting has varied greatly from district to district. So here we are talking about India, that it differs from district to district. Like some districts have 12% stunting, and to some other districts are like 65%. So notably, there are 239 out of 604 districts in India where stunting levels are above 40%. So this is such a high percentage and a very sad news for us. So there are high and very high levels of stunting mainly in central. So mainly stunting is seen in central and northern India, more than 30 to 40%. And when we talk about the south states, it's less than 20%. They still have a better number. Okay. So while wasting or low weight for height affects a greater proportion of rural India than urban, India again tops the list with the most number of wasted children. I already told you that we are topping the list in stunted children. Now again in wasted children, like 25.5 million, okay, are in India, and followed by Nigeria, which is having 3.4 million, and Indonesia, where the figures are 3.3 million. So now let's talk about what are the factors which are responsible for stunting. Obviously one is food, that they are not getting sufficient food. But what is the reason why they are not able to get the sufficient food? So see, there are various factors which are associated. For example, gender, education, economic status, health, hygiene, and other demographic factors also. Even the women's low BMI accounted for 19% of difference between low versus high burden districts. So the report referred to a study by this IFPRI, which used district level aggregate data from 2015 to 16. Okay, National and Family Health Survey also. and covering around 6 lakh households in 604 districts in India. How they did this study? So now you see, the study found that the factors such as women's low BMI accounted for 19%, right? 19% of difference between low versus high burden districts, and other are like maternal education, age at time of marriage, and antenatal care. So the percentage, you can see how much they are contributing towards the malnutrition in India. So this study reinforced the multi-sectoral nature of stunting by highlighting that differences between districts were explained by many factors. Okay, so India's national nutrition strategy, which is focused on addressing district specific factor, draws on analysis such as these along with district specific nutrition profiles to enable diagnostic work. So that is what this report is saying. Now there is undernourishment on India is on rise. That is what we get from this report. So it has rose to 784.4 million in 2015. Then you can see in 2016 it has rise to 804, and finally when we talk about 2017 it is 820.8 million. So it is on rise. But you know what, there was a time between 2003 to 2014, okay, where a decade-long phenomena of the number of undernourished people in the world was falling. Okay, it reduced from 961.5 million to 783.7 million in the respective years. It has reduced, but now the scenario has reversed off after 2014. So we will try to relate it with a role of agriculture prices. Okay, why here we are talking about agriculture prices? See, the reversal of prolonged declining trend in world hunger has come despite a collapse in international agriculture commodity prices. So it is somewhere related to agriculture prices, because ironically throughout the period of rising food prices from 2003 to 2011, global hunger numbers kept dipping. So conversely, the recent decline in agricultural prices could retard global poverty reduction. So sustained high prices can stimulate production. So when the prices are high, it can stimulate the production of food, leading to increased farm incomes. It may result in higher demand of unskilled agriculture labor. So they are getting more money because of increased agricultural prices, but the only losers in this bargain would be urban poor. So you see, somewhere it is related to agricultural prices also. So what are the factors which are usually affecting hunger? See, there are violent conflicts that are going in many nations, many countries right now. So this is one of the factor, because both state-based and between organized armed groups have increased dramatically, especially after 2010. We have seen that, right? And then second is, this is the first factor, and I feel second factor is climate variations. Okay, climate variations. Now see how, like 2015 and 16 El Nino. So what is El Nino? You must be reading geography. You can write it in the comment box. So I'll tell you shortly. This is the abnormal warming of the equatorial Eastern Pacific Ocean waters. So it is known to adversely impact Indian monsoon and rainfalls, especially in India. So it was one of the strongest events of past 100 years. So see, this could be one of the reason, climate variation. So it also contributed to 2016 being the warmest and 2015 the second warmest year based on recorded global average temperatures. So the effects of conflicts and climate related disasters, if any, would be mainly on agriculture production and supply, in turn driving up commodity prices, right? So this is how it is nature. So what is the way forward? So if we talk about India first, like what could be the way forward to reduce the this malnutrition and the hunger thing? So among the factors which are affecting the quantity and quality of nutrition are maternal education, as we said, age of marriage, we need to give a view on this. So now that mapping of malnutrition on district level is available, as in Global Nutrition Report, it is incumbent on state governments to address these determining factors. So India should invest more of its economic prosperity in its welfare system. Like Economic Survey said, we should increase it to 6.6% of our GDP. But we have already reduced it. Earlier it was 6%, now it is like something 5.8%. So we should increase it to 6.6%. That is what Economic Survey has suggested, 2017-18, right? So priorities and invest in the data needed capacity to use it, and even we should scale up the financing for nutrition, and we should make and deliver better commitments to end malnutrition in all its forms, and ambitious transformative approaches will be required to meet global nutrition targets. So this is also like we can give strength to Anganwadi services scheme, and we should give more budget here. It does not work well usually, so it must be subjected to rigorous review. And government should acknowledge the linkages and commit themselves to improve the nutritional policies, right? So as I told you about this thing also, so this is all what we have just discussed written here. So now let's come to the questions again. So here the right answer is 2 only. Okay, why this is, I have written the notes also, why it is not this. And here all the factors, indicators are there. And now see first statement where I have written it is by WHO, but basically it is by Food Policy Research Institute. Okay, and parameters, here you have written all the 3 parameters are there. So thank you. If any queries, you can contact me on my social media. And there's one question for you also that you can practice at home. Why is malnutrition on rise globally? What needs to be done? India's position and measures necessary. So you can write about it. Thank you. So yes, PDF you can get it from a Telegram channel.